Hey guys, my name is Christina Diaz. I am the Marketing and Business Development Manager here at Coastal Equity Group. My team, Gracie Boots, who is the lead underwriter, and our fund manager, Alex Baker, we're going to be taking a trip down to Cape Coral, Florida to visit one of our ground up clients who currently has over 32 properties in progress. So come along as we take our trip down to Cape Coral. The Florida market, and particularly the Southwest Florida region, continues to be such a great market for investors, whether they are looking to build and sell or build to rent. We have seen over the years such an unprecedented amount of people that have migrated down to Florida. So we wanted to travel down to Cape Coral, meet with our clients, Brian and Tim Jordan of Tarpon Construction, and showcase the properties in person. There are 32 projects currently in process at this time. You'll see that Brian uses the same floor plan for each property. We decided to check out a few properties that were post-framing and had drywall installed. So many of them are a few weeks away from completion. We're here in Cape Coral at one of the many houses. I'm sure this one is near the final phase of construction. So we're very excited for our borrower to keep turning them around. Brian walks us through a frame property where he shared with us that he has a specific checklist that his subs and team follow in every part of the process.
Checklist, because the first one, the doors were built, the framers didn't build the doors wide enough, but we didn't figure it out until after drywall. That's a big problem. We can't trust the electricians to put the lights in the right place, so we have a diagram. My people come in and make X's on the ground. We even have a laser pointer. So, wow. And we mark on the floor, at this point is where this light needs to be centered. So now we don't have any troubles there, but it's just a trial and error.
And these systems, like a checklist, ensure that the construction is accurate, they can pass inspections, and minimize mistakes that can be made along the way. The next property that Brian took us is one of his premier lots that is located on Pine Island, and this one has both canal and golf access. Hello everyone, my name is Christina Diaz. I'm with Coastal Equity Group, and today we have one of the partners at Tarpon Construction. We're out here in St. James City of Cape Coral, Florida, and we're at one of his many new construction builds that we have funded recently over the past couple of months. So this one we just recently funded last month. And so Brian, if you can tell us a little bit overall about your strategy, how our relationship came about, that would be great.
Sure. So really started in 2020, we started to see a shift in the market. My father, Tim Jordan, is my partner, and we were flipping houses at the time. We started to see a shift in the market based on availability of properties on the MLS. We're lucky enough to live in a master plan community that had thousands of vacant lots. And so we decided this was a way to control our deal flow, was let's buy the lots, control our deal flow, and not have to chase anything. And that's what led us into new construction. Dad has been a builder he had me on job sites at 7 years old carrying lumber.
That's very beneficial in today's market.
Yes, and
it's all about who you know, and they know a lot of people.
Absolutely, and so, and he was doing it years before that, so he's been doing it for a lot of years. So it was a real easy transition. We got all of our licensing in place, and then started looking for funding for new construction.
And I think when you guys came to Coastal Equity Group, you guys talked about a strategy as to, I'm going to hold X amount of properties, and I'm also going to sell X amount of properties. Has that shifted now that the market has shifted over the past couple months?
For us at this point, as of today, it has not shifted. We're still, I listed 3 properties on the MLS. I'm a licensed broker as well, so we listed 3 properties just a couple days ago. We have 5 active right now for sale. We kept it very simple, laser focused on one model, one floor plan, same finishes across the board. We currently have 32 under construction right now. And so that simplicity and being able to have systems, consistent systems in place for finishes and things has made it possible for us to scale. But it really hasn't changed until, you know, it's not to say that it won't, but for right now, we have the ones picked out that we're going to keep as rentals, and we already have the one designated that we're selling, and that's still our game plan.
Okay. Now, that leads me to my next question as, like, how has working with Coastal Equity Group allowed you to scale and allow you to keep construction going and not be bottlenecked at a certain point of the process?
So we would not be where we are at today, I believe, without a partner like Coastal Equity Group. It has been absolutely essential to our growth because we had private lenders through relationship-based private lenders, and they only have so much capital. And so we had kind of tapped everybody out that we had available to us, but we wanted to keep going. And I used a hard money lender, and it was an okay experience. There wasn't anything horrible about it, but the complexity of the process is what turned me off to them. So they did everything they said they were going to do. It went off without a hitch for the most part, but it was the complexity, or let me say, for you guys, it was the simplicity of your process that drew us to you.
And if we go a little bit more in depth into that, I think what Brian's trying to lead us into is after you get financing for the initial property, what happens afterwards? And so what does the draw structure look like with your lender? And Brian can kind of talk about his experience as well and how that's been.
Yeah, so the other company that I used, they had well, first off, they had a third-party company that managed the funds. And so once they provided the loan, that money went off to a third-party company, and that's who you had to deal with. So now you weren't dealing with the person you made the relationship with in the beginning. Now it's this portal. And through that portal, you had to go in, request your draws, provide pictures, video, receipts, invoices, release of lien affidavits, signed, notarized, uploaded. When you have a business that you're trying to scale and you have a limited amount of resources as far as like office help and things like that, it was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
That was one loan. With you guys, I literally send an email with a list of 10 addresses and say, I need a draw on these 10 addresses. And in about 3 to 4 days, the money hits the account. And so it is that easy, night and day, and it's for that reason that, you know, we're probably well over 30 to 40,
properties,
30 to 40
almost
loans
40
at this point.
Exactly,
So.
and that's just great feedback, and it's a lot of good intel for people that are looking to get into ground up construction and they're moving from a private money lender more to a hard money lender because maybe that particular private money lender can't hold as many properties as they're trying to move into. So I think like one of the most important questions that I get is how is that draw process? What does it look like? And Brian is a perfect example of how we've streamlined our process and how that relays to our clientele as well.
And I would like to add one more thing. Something else that plays into it is you might find people that maybe they offer a percentage lower in interest rate, but you guys don't have any junk fees.
Yeah.
I think there's one fee plus your appraisal.
Correct.
It's very minimal, and when you started comparing apples to apples on a spreadsheet, oh wow, this interest rate's attractive, but then you look at all the junk fees on the end, and hard money lenders, in my experience over the past, 15 years, are notorious for
adding
that.
different line
that
items.
Not a bait and switch necessarily, but that real attractive interest rate and points and all that, and then they just hammer you on the back end with junk fees. And that's not something I see with you guys.
Well, I appreciate that because
Absolutely.
definitely on like when you are closing a property with us, we have simplified the number of line items that we provide. So we have our cash to close or your down payment, processing fee, and points, and that's really all that you're going to see on the closing statement. And that makes it a lot easier for the borrowers to do their calculations and understand what they need to bring and understand their overall profitability and operational cost in the end. So we are out here at a build that has just started probably a couple weeks ago, already has the stem wall in place, and obviously a lot of the dirt and fill is in place. Can you kind of talk to me about and walk us through your process, and at what point do you come to Coastal Equity Group for the financing?
So for us, as we start getting through the permitting process, you know, as we like to wait until we're ready to build. I mean, we might have things kind of teed up with you, and you might have addresses, and we're getting appraisals and get everything lined up, and then we wait until the permit's ready. You know, the thing, and again, I didn't mention this earlier, is that you are a non-Dutch system. So I didn't know what that meant until I came to Coastal Equity Group. But essentially what it means is you're only paying interest on the money that you've taken draws on. I have other lenders that have charged me the interest on the entire amount the minute you take $1 in loan money. So having a non-Dutch system allows us to take draws and not feel like the clock is ticking on us. So, but that being said, we get into the permitting, you know, once permitting when we started was 21 days or less, it's now 60 to 75 days to get a permit. So we just kind of wait until that's about to come out, and then we pull the trigger. A lot of times we're lucky, we're in a situation where we can get started on the build a little bit. That's another benefit of you guys. I know other hard money lenders that I've talked to in the past, they will not lend on a property that the work has been started on.
Wow. And
Coastal Equity Group will come out and do an inspection and give you draw money for the work you've completed. Huge game changer for us, huge. And I mean, there are so many little things that I keep remembering as to why it's
keep
such
it going.
a good, yeah,
Just keep
yeah.
it going. We love it.
They keep coming to me. But yeah, that was one of the main reasons as well, is that you know, you'll come out if the loan, you know, we just like to get a little jump. In this area, Cape Coral, St. James City, Pine Island, anywhere between 20 and 50 loads of dirt need to be brought in to raise the house up because of the flood zones that you're in, FEMA flood zones. And that's why the house we're standing on has a stem wall that's probably, this is the highest stem wall we've ever done, but we're also on a Gulf access canal, so you're in a much more high-risk flood zone. So we had to come up a little bit higher. There were a few adjustments we had to make, but you kind of roll with the punches, and that's where we're at right now. All the underground has been done for plumbing and electrical. We're waiting on the inspection, which we've never failed one yet. Knock on wood somewhere, but we haven't failed one yet. So at this rate, we should be pouring the slab either Friday or Monday.
That is amazing, and it goes to show the systems and processes that Brian and his team have implemented. They've modified and made changes. They've learned from mistakes and built new relationships throughout the whole construction process that allows them to move forward, both in financing and the construction side as well.
Absolutely, and I would, you know, the responsiveness of Gracie and you and Alex, and I mean, just the whole team, I don't know that it goes more than an hour or so when I send an email, I get a response, and I get some late responses, which means somebody's working way past 5 o'clock, which I typically am too. So it's great when you see those come through. But yeah, it's just been a great experience. We would not be here with 30 plus homes under construction without your team.
It's amazing. I would have never thought that this partnership with you would have moved this quickly and this fast and this way from our first conversations. And we thank you so much for allowing us to be here and showcasing all of the properties that we're working together on. We ended our tour with a completed model. The total construction process typically takes 3 to 4 months once out of permitting. As soon as these properties hit the market, whether it's for sale or for rent, they do not last long. It's real proof that the Cape Coral market is hot and highly desirable to individuals that are looking for a single family home in this price range and location.